Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Luquitas Montes, and today I'm going to read another chapter of this book. And the name of this book is Officially Dead, um, by Richard Prescott. The last chapter we read was The Journey, the chapter 4, that it was about the beginning of the robbery, I think, that the Bentleys are going to do. And Colin is the one who is going to lose, I think, because he gave the Bentleys the BMW he has and also the identification because he will be the alibi. So let's start with this. Chapter number 4 was the journey. Now we are going to read the accident. Let's reach the chapter number 5, the accident. Here we are. I hope you can see this okay. Let's begin. The M25 was very busy at the traffic, and the traffic moved very slowly indeed. Colin didn't need to stay on that motorway for long because he was driving to the junction with M40. He hoped to make better progress when he turned on to the M40 and started to drive northwest through Birmingham. But instead, the traffic on the M40 was even worse than on the M25 roadworks, and the high winds and heavy snow reduced the traffic speed to less than 50 kilometers per hour. Time was passing, and Colin began to wonder whether he could reach Manchester that night. He decided that the only thing to do was to leave the motorway at their next exit and drive on smaller roads north toward Birmingham. Beyond Birmingham, he could join the M6, which he hoped would be less busy, and drive to Manchester on that. As soon as he had left the M40, Colin was sure he had made the right decision. After a few minutes, he was racing along quiet country roads. Then the accident happened. It was just after 9 o'clock. The road in front of him was clear and Colin put his foot down on the accelerator. There were no street lights and the night was very dark. High hedges, all tall trees lined the road. Beyond the hedges, the fields seemed black. The narrow road curved sharply ahead. Colin turned his steering wheel, but suddenly the car was out of control. It spun round, rolled over, then crashed into a huge tree by the side of the road. Another car had been following the red Escort for several miles, a blue Volvo. The car's drivers witnessed the accident. Okay, give me a second. Well, let's continue with this. Let's start from here. The narrow road curved sharply ahead. Colin turned his steering wheel, but suddenly the car was out of control. It spun round, rolled over, then crashed into a huge tree by the side of the road. Another car had been following the red Escort for several miles, a blue Volvo. The car's driver witnessed the accident. Mark Ashwood slowed down as he watched the car spin, roll over. When it hit the tree, there was a dreadful noise of tearing metal and breaking glass. Mark stopped his car behind the wrecked Escort, leaving his engine running and turning his headlights full on. He jumped out of his car and hurried through the wreck. The road, he noticed, was covered in ice. The accident looked serious. The car lay on its roof. The Escort was a mass of tons metal. Broken glass lay on the icy road and on the snow-covered grass by the side of the road. The front of the car was against the trunk of the tree. There seemed no hope for the driver. Mark looked inside the wrecked car. A man was trapped in the driver's seat, the steering wheel pressing into his chest. He was still alive. Mark could hear him groaning quietly. Mark pulled at the twisted metal that had been the driver's door, but it wouldn't move. Cutting equipment would be needed to free the injured man. Mark tried to think what to do. He was a long way from a phone box, and he was not carrying a mobile. He didn't want to leave the injured man alone, but he could do nothing to free him without help. After a minute, Mark heard a lorry approaching. He stood in the middle of the road, waving his arm. The lorry stopped and the driver looked out of the cab. He saw the wreckage and shook his head. "Will you drive to a phone box, please?" Mark shouted to him. "This is an emergency." "There is no need, mate." The lorry driver called back. "I've got a mobile phone." "Then please phone for the emergency service, quickly. There is a man trapped in there. We'll need a fire crew and an ambulance as well as the police." While the lorry driver was phoning, Mark went back to the injured man. After half a minute, the lorry driver called down. Oh my god. A serious accident. The lorry driver called down from his cab. "An ambulance is on its way," he said. "Do you need my help here?" "There is nothing you can do. I will wait till help arrives. Then I will move on. I'm blocking the road with the lorry." As the lorry moved slowly away, Mark looked inside the wrecked car again. The injured man was trying to speak. Mark could hear him through the broken glass of the driver's window. "Don't try to talk. Help is coming," Mark said. "You will soon be out of there." There was blood on the man's face. He looked about the same age as Mark himself, somewhere in his mid-30s. "Julie," the man said. "Julian? Is that your name?" "No, please tell Julie." The man said slowly. It was difficult for him to breathe. "Tell her I'm sorry. I've been so stupid. Tell her, will you? Please tell Julie I'm sorry." "Your wife?" "Yes, Julie, my wife," the injured man said. "I want her to know the truth." "The truth about what?" Mark asked. The man coughed. Blood came from his mouth and ran down his face. In a moment, he was unconscious. The ambulance and the fire engine arrived together. They stopped beside the wreckage of the escort, their blue lights flashing. The fire crew began cutting at the wreckage and pulling away bits of torn and twisted metal. In a few minutes, they had removed part of the side of the car. Soon, two paramedics were beside the injured driver, trying to get him out of the wreck. As they worked, they spoke quietly to each other. A police car arrived a minute later. Two officers got out. The male driver walked over to the wreck, and the other office, a woman, came to talk to Mark. He briefly described what he had seen to the young policewoman. "Was he going fast?" she asked him. "Yes, too fast, I suppose," Mark said. "And the road is icy here on the bend. He just spun round and lost control. His car rolled over and over. I was fairly close behind him. I suppose I was going too fast too. It's lucky I didn't crash into him." At the moment, the paramedics managed to get the drivers out of the wrecked car. They lifted him carefully and laid him on a stretcher on the ground. The man groaned once more. Then he was silent. Mark and the policewoman moved closer to them. One of the paramedics looked up. He shook his head. He's gone. There was no hope, he said quietly. Mark looked at the dead body on the stretcher. He felt both sad and angry. He realized he was trembling. The man's death had shocked him. It seemed so unnecessary. Somewhere, the man's wife, Julie, was waiting for him, not knowing what had happened, and perhaps they had children. The paramedics put the body on the back of the ambulance. Come to the car, sir, the policewoman said to Mark. She took him by the arm. They sat inside the police car. Mark told the policewoman again about everything that he had seen and gave her his name and address. She wrote his words down in her notebook. Soon the ambulance was ready to leave. The paramedics closed the back doors and climbed into the front seat. The ambulance drove away slowly. The other officer returned to the police car. He sat in the driver's seat. He spoke quietly to his colleague. A breakdown truck is coming to take away the wreckage, he said. Then he turned and spoke to Mark. You look a bit pale, sir. Are you all right to continue your journey? Yes, I'm fine, Mark said. He was silent for a moment. Then he added, I need to speak to that poor man's wife. Don't worry, sir, the policewoman said. We'll take care of that. Mark thought about the driver's wife getting a visit from the police late at night. He tried to imagine how she would feel. Yes, of course, he said slowly. But I was the last person to speak to the man. I saw the accident happen. If his wife knows how the accident happened, perhaps it will help her. Can you give me the man's name and address? We can't do that, sir, the policeman said. The man's relatives will have to identify the body first. But I must speak to his wife, Mark said. Before he died, he gave me a message for her. It was important to him, and it might help his wife accept his death. The policewoman spoke quietly to her colleague. He could phone me in a few days, she said. The identification will have been made by them. The policeman nodded. Okay, he said. The woman wrote down her name and phone number and gave it to Mark. You can get in touch with me at this number on Monday morning. I should be able to tell you the man's name and address then. Mark folded a piece of paper and put it inside his wallet. Thanks, he said. You will need you to call at the police station and tell me in the next day or two, sir, the policewoman said. You were the only witness to the accident. We'll need you to sign a statement. You'll probably have to attend the inquest too. Yes, of course, said Mark. I'll better go now. Okay, sir, the policewoman said. Drive carefully. As Mark drove away, he saw a breakdown truck approaching. Oof. No. Really interesting. A big problem for the Bentleys that they were about to do a robbery. And this is this is the best plot I ever read. I hope you like this and see you in the next chapter. Have a nice day.